because it is wintertime and I know a lot of you guys are bulking right now, right? It's bulk season. I wanted to make a video on 5 lessons that I learned from bulking 135 to 185 pounds as a hard gainer. So it's extremely difficult for me to gain weight for one reason or the other. Maybe it's genetics, but I've always had a hard time of it. But after 4 years of consistent work, I went from the image on the left to the image on the right. When I started, I was 135 pounds. This is me, kind of like a scrawny little 17-year-old kid. And this picture was taken recently, and that's 185 pounds, and I'm pretty lean as well. So even though it was difficult for me, even though I was a hard gainer, I managed to learn the lessons over that long period of time to achieve what I had always desired. And because that journey was actually so difficult, it was like it sucked during the process, but I'm grateful for it because I learned like a ton of tips and tricks and like super practical advice for getting even like the hardest person to bulk up to their goal weight. And so that's kind of like the credibility for this video is I had a really hard time of it trying to bulk up, and now I want to teach you all of the hacks, all of the tricks, all of the secrets so that you can achieve your goal, even if you have like a super difficult time gaining weight, right? Some notes before we begin. These are practical, easy tips. These are lessons that I learned personally. I didn't just watch like 5 YouTube videos and then compile the information. So I know that, at least anecdotally, they work for me, right? And this will help you with pretty much any reason you can't gain weight. A lot of the tips in here, even if you have like the problem is low appetite, or the problem is genetics, the problem is time, or something like that, no matter what the problem is, these tips, these lessons will help you. And so I encourage you to pay attention during the video, try and learn something, and most importantly, just implement at least one thing from this video so that I can impart some value on you, right? Number 1, and this is more important than you think, by the way, weigh yourself daily first thing and track your meals. Tracking towards a goal daily keeps the goal in the front of your mind. If you never track towards a goal, a lot of the times you'll just end up forgetting about it, right? You'll never know exactly how close you are to a goal, if you're making progress some days or if you're falling behind other days, and you kind of just forget about the goal. This simple reason, by the way, just waking up first thing in the morning, stepping on the scale before you have any water or any food in you, that alone would fix plateaus in, I would guess, like 90% of people. I'm extremely serious, by the way. I didn't think it was that important, and then I tried it. And what it does is, when you get on the scale, when you look at the number, you know if you went up in weight or down in weight that day. If you went up in weight, you get a positive feeling, and you're still like, you're thinking about your goal, right? And so first thing in the morning, you get that positive reinforcement, and you're going throughout your day excited to make more progress towards the goal. If you backtrack, if you went like down in weight, then you get a negative feeling. But that negative feeling can actually be good as well, because then you're paying more attention on how to make progress towards your goal. The point is, think about it. Keep it in the forefront of your mind. And weighing yourself every single morning is a great way to do that. The idea of tracking always used to annoy me, right? I used to think it was super inconvenient. I was like, I'll never make this a habit. And when I started tracking all of my meals, every single calorie that went into my body, and I started fixing my diet, I broke every single plateau, all of my plateaus. Track all calories and macros. It's extremely important. A diet tracking app is really good for this. I use MyFitnessPal. You can use whatever diet tracking app you're most comfortable with, whatever. But if you don't have one, download one. You might have heard of, by the way, guys that boast about how they don't need to track, right? They kind of like just say, oh, I don't need to track anything. I can just eat more and I feel it out and I know I'm in a surplus, and then I gain weight. And I used to be like, yeah, I want to be that person. I don't want to have to track anything. Like, I just want to eat more and then gain weight. And so I used to think that this idea, that was part of the reason that I didn't like the idea of tracking everything. I used to be like, no, I don't need to do that. I should just be able to gain weight. And honestly, it took me actually having some humility and being like, okay, I'm not that person. I can't do that. I need to track everything or it will go against me. But anything I do track will work in my favor. And if you're watching this video and you currently don't track all of your meals or your weight every morning, guess what? You're probably in the same camp as me. You're probably in the same boat as me. That's just a fact. We have to have some humility and be like, okay, I cannot just slack on tracking and then just like eat more in like a vague sense and then gain weight. Number 2 is drink a high calorie smoothie after waking. This alone will trigger weight gain in most people. So the morning routine that saved my bulk was waking up, and first thing I went to the scale to weigh myself and record my weight. And then immediately I would go to the blender, I would blend up the recipe that I'm about to give you and drink it. And that started my day off with a bunch of calories already in my stomach, so that when I went to shower next and then I came back to make my actual breakfast, I had already like semi-digested some liquid calories. This was my recipe. Obviously you can make your own high calorie smoothie if there's a different recipe you prefer, but this is the one that I used. 3 cups of 2% milk, 1 banana, 3 tablespoons of almond butter, 2 scoops of chocolate whey protein, and 5 ice cubes. Put in a blender, blend it up, went down super easy, and was a ton of calories, a ton of protein. So yeah, feel free to like screenshot this and add it to photos or whatever, or write it down. By the way, I explain all of this in my full program. That is the top link in the description. If you're serious about getting an aesthetic physique and you are willing to invest in yourself, then I recommend clicking the link and checking out the page attached and watching the attached video just to see if the course seems like it's for you. And if it isn't for you, obviously you can just close that tab and come back to the video. But yeah, go pause the video, click that link, just go investigate it. Because if it is for you, if you would get value from it, then you're missing out by not checking out that page. Number 3, if you're consistent, your appetite increases with your surplus. This tip is especially useful for guys with low appetite, right? Which was me when I was first starting out. You need to keep eating in a surplus even though it's hard. And this isn't so much an actionable step really as something you need to realize, and that is in just 2 to 4 days, your gut will adapt. The body is like a beautiful machine, man. It adapts to whatever you throw at it. You know how like your muscles adapt to weight if you throw a weight at it that it's not comfortable handling? Well, guess what? Your stomach is the same fucking way. If you eat way more than you're used to, the first few days you will feel sick because your body doesn't like it. And then guess what? After like 3 days, every single time, I turn into a ravenous fucking monster. Every single time. I just inhale calories every single day. All day. And honestly, this is coming from someone who like had really poor appetite back when I was 135 pounds. I get like intense hunger pangs if I'm not eating a huge surplus of food. Like when I'm on a bulk and my stomach is adapted, bro, and I, let's say like miss lunch for an hour, my stomach is like brutal. It is just unforgiving to me. It's yelling at me to eat food. I get like crazy hunger pangs. But yeah, the point here is like, you will adapt, your stomach will adapt. If you have low appetite, the solution is actually just to keep eating more, keep eating in your surplus, and just wait for your body, your stomach to adapt. Don't not eat the food because it feels bad. Don't worry, your appetite, your hunger will grow, and you will get used to eating all of that food, right? I feel like a lot of guys, when they are trying to bulk, and they can't. A lot of times it's them like trying to eat more, but it's difficult. And it is difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It is very difficult. However, because of that, they just quit. They get like discouraged. It's hard, and so they give up. But the thing is, your body will adapt actually pretty quickly. It's literally like 3 days, 2 days, 3 days every single time. You just need to keep going. You just need to keep eating. Number 4 is eat the same few meals over and over. Have a meal plan so you know A, exactly what you are eating and when, and B, that the plan adds up to meet your goals. Adapt to your schedule. If you don't have a meal plan, you will probably hit a plateau and fail to reach your goals. Similar to how if you don't track your weight every morning, if you don't track your meals every single day, you will fail to meet your goal. It's just a fact. If you are struggling with eating enough, it's probably just because you haven't spent like 10 minutes on your phone in the Notes app writing out a meal plan. I'm so serious. You know, the thing like with all of these all of these tips is like they require so little to implement, but they have such a huge effect, right? Weighing yourself every morning and making a smoothie first thing in the morning takes like 5 minutes total. It takes like 7 minutes total. Tracking all your stuff after a meal takes like 1 minute, 2 minutes, right? 60 to 120 seconds after you eat anything. But it's so extremely powerful. And this is the same way. Just having a plan written out, even if you don't necessarily look at it all the time, will help you overcome plateaus, obstacles, right? Anything in the path between you and your goal. And I'm going to teach you how to do it in a second. But there's something we need to talk about, which is obviously, if you're going to eat the same few meals over and over that are in your plan, you need to try to eat nutrient-dense meals so you don't develop a deficiency. So if you eat the same things over and over, and it's like a plate of one item, like you just eat potatoes over and over, 3 meals a day, guess what's going to happen? You're going to develop deficiencies of the vitamins that come in meats, of all of the micronutrients that come in stuff like red meat. You're going to develop deficiencies, and that will actually backfire. Number one, it will lead to less muscle gain, less, lower performance in the gym. That's very, very bad. B, it can lead to a lot of other screwed up stuff elsewhere in your life, right? It can lead to poorer quality of life, poorer sleep, poorer energy, stuff like that, throughout the rest of your life. So you want to be careful. C, you could die. I don't know. I don't know nutrition that well, but I do know you need a well-rounded diet in order to survive. That's how us as humans were created. And so just make sure when you put your meals together, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's some greens, there's some meats, a little bit of red meat as well. Just so you don't die. This is how you create a meal plan. This is how I created mine. It can look like different things. The ideal meal plan is just whatever document best helps you, basically. That could be a couple things, right? It could be like could be time-based, sort of like a schedule, right? Where you list out different hours during the day and what you eat. So you list breakfast and smoothie 7 a.m. You list first snack 10 a.m. You list lunch 12 p.m., right? Second snack 2 p.m., stuff like that. If that's the most convenient for you. Second one could be, this is what I made, recipes. This is a much simpler way to do it, and basically all it is a list of recipes and what's in them, and you can pick and choose during the time of the day what you want to eat. In order to create mine, I just went to an AI chatbot like ChatGPT. I asked it for a bunch of meals based on my calorie requirements and macronutrient requirements for the day. So I went into MyFitnessPal. I looked at what I needed for a surplus, the amount of calories I needed to eat each day. I looked at the macros that I needed to eat each day, the proteins, fats, carbs. And I basically went to a chatbot and said, hey, generate me a list of recipes that would have like a third of the macronutrients that I need in a single day, right? So, and then just list like a bunch of them with varieties. Give me a few breakfast ones, give me a few lunch ones, give me a few dinner ones, right? And then all I did was copy those recipes into my notes app on my phone, and I organized them by breakfast, lunch, dinner. Now, when I have breakfast, I know there are several meals that I can choose from based on what I wrote down. And then I just prepare those, right? And if I'm missing an ingredient for a meal, then I just choose a different meal. It's pretty simple. It leads to some pretty delicious meals, to be honest. And yeah, it's awesome. I recommend that way. However, as I said before, you need to adapt this to your schedule. So if you have something like work or school, it's not going to be so cut and dry. You will have to adapt it to your needs. Let's say you work a job somewhere, and for lunch you guys all go out to a restaurant like Chick-fil-A or something like that, right? Basically, just know what Chick-fil-A order you're going to get. Are you going to get, let's say, 2 items of lower calories so that you can meet your goals for lunch, or are you going to like find the highest calorie item on the menu? Just know what you're eating and know how to work around that so that you always achieve your daily goals. That's the most important thing. Nothing in your schedule is a deal breaker as long as you plan for it. No matter how busy you are, this is like the time excuse. The good news is, no matter how busy you are, you can always work around it. You can do meal prep, right? You can learn about the items on a specific restaurant's menu. You can learn the secret knowledge of their menu to hack their menu and get the item that meets your calorie requirements or something like that. There's always a way around it. There's always a way to like pack extra snacks so that you're constantly eating throughout the day. The point is, plan for it. This is why a meal plan is so important. Number 5 is have a consistent streak, and this is more important than you think. Diet is like a combo multiplier in a video game. So in like combat games, the more repeatedly you hit somebody without you taking damage, the higher your like combo multiplier is in certain games. And the deal with the combo multiplier in certain games is the higher the combo multiplier, the better your fighting ability is. So perhaps if you swing like 5 times and your combo goes up to 5, suddenly you do a few % more damage per swing. So your damage increases every single attack. And as your combo goes up, so does your damage. Or maybe there's like an ability that unlocks or something like that if your combo gets high enough. The point is, you want to try to get your combo as high as possible, and every time it gets broken, you get hit with an attack that does you damage, the combo goes down to 0. And in a weird way, I had to learn this the hard way because no one had ever fucking explained this to me. Diet is the exact same way. It's not necessarily enough just to be like, well, on average, sure, I miss a few days a week. I miss 3 days a week, but on average, I'm eating so much more on the surplus days, and so, I'm gaining a ton of weight. I should still be in a surplus for the week. No, you're fucking not. And the reason is because, weirdly, diet follows this like combo multiplier, this obscure combo multiplier logic. And that is, you have to build up an unbroken streak to get exponential results. We can see this kind of like exponential curve right there. And the reason I know this is because I've told this story a lot on this channel before, and so I don't want to like bore you or make this long. I spent 4 years trying to get up to 180, and I hit a plateau at 170 that lasted probably like 2 years. I gained, how I said I went from 135 to 185? Like 30 or 40 pounds of the weight, like 40 pounds of the weight that I gained, I got within the first 2 years. Then I hit a massive plateau. At the beginning of this year, I went on a bulk program that had me do 100% consistency pretty much. I got like 99% of the days I hit my goals. Guess what happened? I gained 14 pounds in like 4 weeks. 2 years prior, I had gained like 0 pounds, or like 1 pound per year. And then in 4 weeks with 100% consistency, I gained 14 pounds. The only difference is I had a few days per week before where I wasn't hitting my goals, even though I was kind of on average in a surplus. I can't explain this to you. I don't know the science behind this well enough, and the science might actually kind of like disagree with it. Like, oh, well, actually, all you need to be in is a surplus over a week, and in general, you will gain 1 pound of muscle per week. Dude, I can't explain this to you. I can't rationalize this to you. All I can do is give you the analogy of a combo multiplier in like a fighting game, bro. That's the fucking best that I can give you. But I promise you, this is extremely important. You need to lock the fuck in and have 100% consistency hitting your daily surplus goals. That's just a fact. It doesn't even have to be like forever. What I would do to test this lesson out for yourself is just for the next month, decide to hit your goals like 90 to 100% of the days. So over the next like 28 days, 4 weeks, or like 30 days, a month, just decide to hit your goals 100% of the days. Put other stuff on the back burner if you have to, right? If you need to prioritize this, that's fine. But just focus on getting 90 to 100% consistency instead of like the 75% consistency that you might be having right now. Just test this out for yourself. I promise you it works this way. I promise. I can't explain why, but it does. So I try to be a practical channel that actually brings you value. So I want to leave this video off with an actionable step, and that is implement just 2 of the tips in this video into your routine. I know implementing 5 new things into your routine is a lot, but just 2 of the lessons that you learned in this video, decide to decide on what they are, and then maybe go watch the video again or like watch back. Decide which ones you feel like are the best, are the most useful, and then implement them in your routine. Just take action on it. Try it for like a week. See what the results are. You don't need to implement all 5, just 2. And then, end off, happy bulking. This is you, by the way, in the future. That is you. That is a handy visual of you in the future after you implement the stuff that I taught you. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, you should probably subscribe because we might be more alike than you think. If you kind of resonated with me, resonated with the video, we might be more alike than you think. So you should subscribe. I'm always teaching about topics, lessons on how to get an aesthetic physique as a young man. That's what I'm obsessed with. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. God bless. Merry Christmas.